This is episode 557 on the 15th of August 2022. Only 60 days remain for the start of the 20 over World Cup, and the first question that comes to one's mind is which team will take away the coveted trophy this time. Well, as I said before, for a 20 over tournament, it's difficult to predict. It's all about what the team does on the field that day. And unlike what most of the PPED media is saying, there are no weak teams, there are no strong teams. Everyone is on an equal pedestal, so it's difficult to know which team will have an advantage. It's all about making sure that you exercise your plans, whatever plans you have. Those you need to have plans A to Z. Plan A may not work, B may not work, C may not work, D may work, or you may have to go to plan Z. So it's difficult to know which team will have a chance. Even teams like Bangladesh and Afghanistan can spring a surprise. And there is no home supremacy. Australia may have gone on to win last year's World Cup, but it doesn't mean that they may win 2 in a row. They have done that in the 50 over competition, having a hat trick of wins, winning 3 in a row. But in a 20 over tournament, it's difficult to say. Even I cannot predict. And whatever happened last year, happened last year. It's a fresh year. Teams having new captains, some teams having appointed new captains, though a certain neighboring country has appointed a player as a captain who has a very strange relationship with the governing body, but that's not our concern right now. We won't go into those details. And whatever happened to India in last year's World Cup, see it as a bad thing. Not for the first time has this happened, and we all know for a 20 over tournament, all you need is maybe a few things going your way and a few things not going the opposition's way. Planning is there, but it's 75% luck and 25% execution. Now, everybody has started using this terminology of aggressive brand of cricket. Well, it's obvious that for a 20 over tournament, we don't have much time to think. You have to go bang, bang, bang. As I said in the previous episodes, there is no special brand of cricket required. Every team in this tournament will target at least minimum 200 if they bat first, or if they bowl first. Whatever be their decision, they will try to restrict the batting team to under 150 or maximum 160. But let me tell you, it's Australia, which means rain will play a huge role. I said that exactly a year before the tournament started. Unlike Dubai, where rain is a luxury, it's Australia. Rain will play a huge role in deciding teams' fate on their way to the knockout stages and how the group stage shapes up. Talking about the group stage, I think this is a huge flaw in the format of the tournament. For me, a round robin tournament is preferred instead of having 2 groups of 6 teams each, because then if a team loses, let's say 2 matches in the beginning of the tournament, then you are under pressure. You have to win the remaining matches. But if it's a round robin format where you play all the teams at least once, then what happens? Then at least if you lose 1 game, you have at least 10 games to recover. So I would prefer a round robin format anytime over a group format or a pool format, which I'm not in favor of, because this allows the teams to play against different teams. You're not restricted to one pool, and then you're not worried about what is happening in the other pool or the other group. You play all the teams, you are better prepared, and by the time you reach the semi-finals, you have done everything you have to reach that stage. So for me, if there's one flaw that was eminent in last year's World Cup, it was the group format, because it's surprising, because for the 50-over World Cup, the international cricket governing body decided to go with the round robin format when each team played the other ones. And then if you didn't do well, that's a different story. So I would prefer a round robin format where at least every team has an equal chance. Now this tournament could be the last tournament for a few individuals who have been doing their all for their teams for the last 16, 17 years. I won't name each individual. It's on the listeners to decipher who all am I talking about. As it happens every year in sports, you reach a certain age and you are called a senior citizen. So there are a couple of 35-year-olds in this team, 33-year-olds in this team, for whom pressure has been created that if they do not perform at their 1000%, then their career is over as it is. So they are under pressure from the pseudo media, from the fanatics, from their employers, the governing body, and in general everyone else, because all eyes will be on a couple of senior citizens who, if they perform, they will go on from becoming legends to Hall of Famers. There are a couple of under 30 players also. If they perform well, then they will slowly march from the section of being fringe players to the section of being legends. And there's something very interesting about this tournament as far as India is concerned. What India have right now is an interim captain in Rohit Sharma and an interim coach in Rahul Dravid. The interesting connection between these two is that even Dravid, post the removal of a captain, was an interim captain for 2 years, and then the captaincy was given to a much younger player. We all know who that is, and whatever happened after that happened after that. So Rohit Sharma is just that bridge which connects the individual who was resigned from captaincy in a very controversial manner. Same thing which happened during when Rahul Dravid was given the captaincy, and then Rohit Sharma will connect the bridge to whoever is the next captain. Who is it? I don't know. There are a lot of candidates. I can't predict. I'm not going in that direction. I don't know who will be the best individual to do the job. But yes, this tournament is going to be very interesting. Of course, for the first time in this tournament's history, we are going to have teams who are going to defend their title immediately after winning. In the previous tournament, there was a gap between title defense and a match at home. But right now, Australia, who won last year, will defend its title this year at home. But let me tell you, unlike the women's game, there is no home supremacy. It's difficult to predict which particular team has the upper hand in this particular tournament. For someone who has seen every possible thing happen, I can't predict. I don't know what's going to happen. And if I don't know what's going to happen, then no other pseudo expert's opinion counts. If they start speaking, just mute them or just shut off the TV. They don't count. They don't know what's going on. If you want to know from anyone how this particular tournament and how even the Football World Cup will happen, where France are the defending champions, you only have one place to go. This talk show. Any other program you listen to, you will be confused, and you won't know what they are talking about. They will be rude, they will be unethical, they will be uncool. So if you don't want to spoil your language and poison your ears, don't listen to any other program when it comes to football, cricket, education, entertainment, and professional and combat sports. Moving on, talking about legends. Is it not time to move on from the likes of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Serena Williams, Venus Williams? Is it that time up? I think yes. I think we have given too much of airtime to these individuals. Yes, they're all Grand Slam champions. They have won multiple championships, every possible Grand Slam they have won and defended successfully, from US Open to Australian Open, England Open to French Open, and this happens every year. It's not as if these tournaments happen every 4 years. These open tournaments happen every year. And in the newspapers and on digital media, they have created this atmosphere that once Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, the Williams sisters retire, tennis will be poorer. For me, this is an insult to individuals like Medvedev and Tsitsipas who are trying to establish themselves, but they are always being compared to these 3-4 individuals. Let me tell you, these Nadal and all, they are not invincible. They are also flawed. They didn't start on a high note when they debuted. They debuted 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 years ago. They have done their job. They now reached the stage where I find it insulting that the discussion is that when these individuals will not be playing on the field and new or semi-established players will finally take that spot, tennis will be poorer. Whoever is saying this should just shut their mouth. I do not agree with that. It's the same with Messi and Ronaldo. I'm done with them. They may be good players, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing special about Ronaldo and Messi. What have they done? What have they contributed? Nothing. 600 goals, big deal. We are not giving space to other individuals. The only space we are giving is to maybe Neymar and Kylian Mbappe for a while. But Mbappe became famous when France went on to win the World Cup. And now it will be interesting because the World Cup is just a few months away. The domestic competitions are happening, the various football leagues are also happening simultaneously. So these individuals will have to transition from playing for their so-called domestic teams or clubs to transitioning to playing for their countries. Will it make a difference? Well, they play for their countries once in 4 years. The Euro Cup happens once in 4 years. The UEFA Nation Cup happens once in 4 years. The Copa America happens once in 4 years. But these domestic competitions, La Liga, English Premier League, and other such competitions, they happen every year. They start every year around this time and they go on for 6-7 months. And this discussion around loyalty, that where the loyalty lies for these players, whether it's the domestic teams or the international teams, whom they represent once in 4 years at different tournaments, the Football World Cup will be an interesting thing because India is not part of the Football World Cup, which I find it to be very strange. India has not been able to give an opportunity that India should be part of the World Cup. Should India be part of the Football World Cup? Most of you would say, I don't even care if India is not part of the World Cup. Well, I don't really care, but it's insulting. But when the World Cup starts, whenever it starts in a few months' time, which team do I support? I don't know. All teams are equal. Which team has a chance? Of course, you will say that Messi and Ronaldo could be playing their last World Cup. One of them is 37, the other one is nearing 40. Their last World Cup, that is the last time they play for a country. They may continue to play for their domestic team or club or whatever for more time, and they are more invested in playing for those teams. So how will they transition from playing from this team to that team? I don't know. Anyhow, Football World Cup happens once every 4 years. There are anyway so many distractions happening, but it's either way very interesting. The venue for the World Cup is also very interesting. We all know what the venue is, so let's not get into discussion. But let me tell you, none of these individuals are invincibles. They are human beings like the rest of us. They are flawed. They may have won multiple trophies and championships for their respective teams, and we are fans. There are fanatics for them, but it really doesn't matter because the fact that once these individuals retire, and for the TPED media to say that the game will be poorer without their presence because they're role model. Let me tell you, sports athletes are not supposed to be role models. Whatever their background, whatever they struggle to come and do the job to win medals or trophies, it doesn't matter. And if you want to be a sports athlete, you don't need inspiration from another established sports athlete to become one. Because this inspiration is superficial, this inspiration is abstract. These athletes are not going to help you become an athlete. You have to do the grind work, you have to start from scratch, you have to participate in multiple trials, and then when finally the individuals who are going to notice you, though their judgment is also questionable, the individuals who select new athletes to come and establish themselves, their judgment itself is questionable. So I don't know how that happens. So those who are established athletes, are they role models for me? No. Whatever their background, good for them that they came a long way and they impressed everyone at various championships, but then equally under pressure. Because if they don't perform, then they will perish. It's a simple equation. If you get the medal, if you get the championship, you will be given all kinds of help in cash and kind, all kinds of facilitation in cash and kind. If you are in the top three, that is gold, silver, and bronze, because the greed for a medal never ends, you will be in the news, you will be in the limelight, and in the next competition, you will be equally under pressure to perform. Those who are not in the top three, those who work hard, and those who are at number 4, they will be scrutinized. Their efforts will be questioned by individuals who have never played the game. And we know who questions athletes. Their antecedents don't even matter. So that's a tough one for the athletes. It's strange that athletes are selected and rejected by a group who have never played the sport. Athletes are given all kinds of adulation by a group who have never played the sport. They are called individuals, they are called invincibles by a group who have never played the sport. Their commitment to a team is scrutinized by a group who have never played the sport. So I really don't get into that superficial discussion. There is a lot to discuss, but let me tell you, if Messi and Ronaldo and their counterparts in tennis decide to move on from the sport and say, I'm done, I have given my all for the past 25 years, the sport will not be poorer. Because if that was the case, then, well, how would we create new legends? Whoever replaces them or comes in place whenever they come, if they have worked hard, they are good. You don't have to win 20 Grand Slams to establish yourself as what one calls a legend. 5 will do, 1 will do, 20 is just a bit of luck. But will the sport be poorer? No. Can we move on? Yes. Are they invincible? No. Nobody is invincible. But at the same time, sports athletes are not role models. If you want to be a sports athlete, don't become a sports athlete because this individual inspired you. Become a sports athlete because you want to prove yourself. Or whatever profession you do, don't be affected by another individual in that profession. Or if you want to be affected by that individual in that profession, I leave it to you. But let me tell you, nobody is invincible. Everybody is flawed. And as far as this group is concerned, once they move on, a new group will come and they'll be doing the job for the next 10 to 12 years. Once they are done, another group will come. So as I said before, a shelf life for an athlete is between 15 to 20 years. Once they have done their job, a new group comes and the world moves on. That's how this thing works. This ends episode number 557 on the 15th of August 2022. Stay tuned for the next episode 558 on the 17th of August 2022.